As its political leader and official head of state, Dooku was one of the key figures that rallied the disenfranchised worlds wishing to cut ties with the Galactic Republic into the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Of course, much of Dooku's efforts were focused upon completing the Sith Grand Plan for destroying the Republican Jedi and ushering in a new order dominated by the Sith. But there was much more that went into Dooku's organization of the Separatists than merely facilitating its anti-Republic sentiments. And perhaps the most evil of Dooku's machinations for the Separatists related to his decision regarding who would lead the Separatist Alliance and represent its public face on the Separatist Council. In this video expose, we'll look at the Revenge of the Sith novelization and see why Dooku ensured that other than himself, only non-humans led the Separatists and were put into its primary positions of authority. As Dooku watched the Battle of Coruscant unfold and waited for his confrontation with the Jedi, he began thinking of the new government that he had dedicated the last decade to achieving with Sidious. While he focused primarily upon the destruction of the Republic and the weak, pathetic beings who guided it, Dooku looked forward to another element of the new government. It wouldn't just be an order that personified authority, but human authority. For Dooku, only humans could be trusted to lead the new government, and thus, the coming empire developed by Sidious and himself would be defined as an empire of man that primarily served the interests of humans. To further this sentiment, Dooku noted it was no accident the primary leaders of the Confederacy and practically every member of its council were non-humans. Nemoidians, Geonosians, Moons, Gossams, Quarrens, and Skakoans were all immediately identifiable with the Separatists, and ultimately, the Clone War itself. And Dooku was ready to take advantage of the rising tide that viewed these non-human species with contempt after the war. As Dooku would distance himself from the crimes of the Separatists by the war's end, he and the new empire would set out to crush these non-human worlds, taking all of their possessions and wealth and forcing their systems into Dooku's empire of man. This would all be facilitated through Dooku's efforts to place solely non-humans into the Confederacy's primary positions of power. But it should be noted that Dooku wasn't unique in holding these views. Long before the Clone War erupted, even Darth Plagueis recognized that he could never hold the position of Supreme Chancellor. This was due to the rise of distrust and hostility towards non-humans within his era, making Palpatine the necessary element to fill that role for the Sith. Although Dooku wouldn't live to see the rise of the Empire, his ideals that favored an empire of man and the efforts to tie non-humans to the Separatists were taken advantage of by the New Order. One of the most influential and powerful entities within the Empire was the Commission for the Preservation of the New Order, or Compnor. Designed to maintain support for Emperor Palpatine and the new Empire, its organs and actors ultimately infiltrated every sector of society and position of power. From the Imperial Security Bureau to every level of Imperial governance, Compnor's influence was present. And the leading ideology that shaped Compnor was Dooku's ideal of an empire of man. With the rise of the Empire, its institutions emphasized human authority, with other species being discriminated against and even enslaved, as non-humans had a nearly impossible ability to climb the ranks of Imperial organizations. Picking up from the actions of Dooku, the Empire was truly one defined by human authority, as anti-slavery laws were eliminated and the prosecution of non-humans was accepted. So there we have it, why Dooku had only non-humans in positions of power within the Confederacy of Independent Systems. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter, @SWReadingClub, for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon, for access to exclusive rewards and discussions. If not for me... for rare exceptions.